Your parents bought a house in their late 20s on one income, had 2 kids, 2 cars, took vacations, and retired with a pension. You're 35. Both you and your partner work full-time, making a combined $140,000, and you're still not sure if you can afford to buy a house or have kids. Something broke, right? You're doing everything you were told to do. College degree, stable job, working hard, but the middle-class life your parents had feels completely out of reach. Here's what nobody's telling you. The middle class isn't just struggling, it's literally disappearing, and it's being replaced by two groups: people building real wealth and people permanently stuck in financial instability. And the gap between these two groups is widening so fast that staying in the middle is becoming mathematically impossible. My name is Brenda, and I spend way too much time thinking about why the traditional middle-class pathway has completely broken down, and what's actually replacing it. If you're someone who feels like you're doing everything right but somehow not getting ahead, or you're making decent money but can't seem to build any real wealth, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because what I'm about to show you is why the old middle-class playbook doesn't work anymore, and what you need to do instead. Let me show you what's actually happening with some data that makes this crystal clear. In 1971, about 61% of American households were considered middle class, defined as earning between 2/3 and double the median income. By 2023, that dropped to about 50%. That's not a small decline. That's 11% of the entire population moving out of the middle. But here's where it gets interesting. Where did they go? About 7% moved up into the upper income tier. About 4% moved down into the lower income tier. So the middle class is shrinking, and people are splitting into two directions. Some are ascending, most are descending. And the gap between these groups is massive. According to Pew Research, the median wealth of upper-income families is now about $805,000. For middle-income families, it's $104,000. For lower-income families, it's $12,000. Those aren't typos. The wealth gap between upper and middle income is 7.7x. Between middle and lower income is 8.7x. If you're in the middle and you're not actively moving up, you're at risk of sliding down, because staying in the middle requires treading water in an increasingly strong current. Here's what most people don't realize about why the middle-class path broke. It's not just one thing, it's a combination of forces that all hit at once. Force 1. Housing costs exploded relative to income. In 1985, the median home price was about 3.5x the median household income. Today, it's over 6x. If you're spending double the proportion of your income on housing, that's money that can't go to savings or wealth building. Force 2. Healthcare and education costs skyrocketed. The cost of college has increased 180% since 2000, after adjusting for inflation. Healthcare costs have risen 115%. Meanwhile, median wages have increased about 25%. You're paying way more for the same things your parents got cheaper, with income that hasn't kept pace. Force 3. The labor market bifurcated. Jobs increasingly split into high-skill, high-pay positions and low-skill, low-pay positions. The middle-tier jobs, manufacturing, middle management, skilled trades in some cases, got automated, outsourced, or compressed. If you're not in the top tier of skills and education, you're competing in an oversupplied labor market where wages get squeezed. Force 4. Wealth compounds, debt compounds faster. If you start with wealth, you can invest it and compound at 8 to 10% annually. If you start with debt, especially student loans or credit cards, you're compounding in reverse at 6 to 24%. The middle class increasingly starts with debt, not wealth, so they're climbing out of a hole while the upper class is building on a foundation. Here's what's replacing the middle class: two distinct groups with completely different financial trajectories. Group 1. The wealth builders. These aren't necessarily rich people. They're people who figured out how to convert income into assets that compound. They're living on 60 to 70% of their income and investing the rest. They own assets, stocks, real estate, businesses, skills that command high wages. They might make $120,000 and live like they make $80,000. After 15 years, they have $500,000 in investments. After 30 years, they have $2.5 million. They're financially independent by their mid-50s. Group 2, the permanently precarious. These are people stuck in the cycle of high expenses and low savings. They might make $85,000 or even $110,000, but they're spending 95 to 100% of it. They have minimal investments, one job loss, one medical emergency, and they're in crisis mode. They're not poor, they might look middle class, but they have no financial resilience, and they're one bad break away from sliding into actual poverty. The old middle class was stable, modest savings, modest assets, but secure. That category is disappearing. You're either building wealth or you're financially vulnerable. There's less and less in between. Here's the psychology that keeps people stuck. When your income rises, your lifestyle automatically expands to match it unless you consciously prevent it. You go from $60,000 to $90,000. Instead of saving that extra $30,000, you get a nicer apartment, a newer car, eat out more. Your expenses rise by $28,000. You're saving an extra $2,000 per year, which feels like progress, but mathematically barely matters. Meanwhile, the person who kept their lifestyle at the $60,000 level and banked that full $30,000, after 20 years at 8% returns, that's a $1.5 million difference. Same income increase, one person stayed middle class, the other became wealthy. The only difference was lifestyle discipline. Here's what you actually do if you want to avoid the downward slide and join the wealth building group. 1. Pick a lifestyle ceiling and never break it. Decide right now what income level you'll live at. Let's say $75,000. Every dollar you earn above that gets invested. Your lifestyle can improve, but slowly and deliberately, not automatically. 2. Build assets, not a lifestyle. Every financial decision should be, does this build an asset or does this fund consumption? House can be an asset if you're a strategic. Car is almost always consumption. Investments are assets. Vacations are consumption. You need some consumption to enjoy life, but if 90% of your money goes there, you'll never build wealth. 3. Develop high-value skills. The labor market rewards specialized, hard-to-replace skills. General skills get commoditized and wages drop. Find something you can be top 10% at and double down. 4. Automate wealth building. Don't rely on willpower to save what's left over. Automatically invest 20 to 30% of every paycheck before you see it. Live on what remains. 5. Avoid the big 3 wealth killers: consumer debt, lifestyle creep, and trying to look successful. These 3 things keep more people poor than anything else. Look, the middle class as your parents knew it is gone, and it's not coming back. That's not pessimism, it's reality. But here's the thing, you don't need it to come back. You just need to understand that the new rules are different. The old path was get a stable job, work for 40 years, retire with a pension. That path is dead. The new path is build valuable skills, convert income to assets, compound wealth over time, achieve financial independence. It's actually more achievable than the old path, but only if you understand what game you're playing. Most people are still following the old playbook and wondering why it's not working. They're trying to be middle class in an economy that's eliminating the middle class. Stop trying to be middle class. Build wealth instead. The math is simple. Live on less than you earn, invest the difference consistently, compound for decades. That's it. But simple doesn't mean easy. It requires going against every social pressure telling you to spend, to keep up, to look successful now instead of actually being successful later. Your choice is join the wealth-building group or risk sliding into the precarious group. There's no comfortable middle anymore. Pick one. If this video made you realize the old rules don't work anymore, subscribe because we're going to keep showing you the rules that actually do. Now go set up that automatic investment and stop pretending the middle-class dream is coming back. Build something better instead.